Right now, in your fridge, there's something the government officially calls food. But in reality, it's straight up chemical fraud. Back in the 1950s, this would have landed you in prison in 22 states. Because back then, messing with food was the same as poisoning someone. Today, it's just business. You think you're being healthy with that Greek yogurt or organic cheese in the morning? Congrats. You just ate molecular glue and rendered kidney fat from a cow that has never seen a pasture. She's never seen anything but a stall and a trough full of fake feed. Today, we're going to break down how big food erased the line between what you eat and industrial lubricant. Spoiler: after this video, your morning smoothie is ruined forever. And so is your trust in any label with a cute little green leaf. Want to understand how they played us? Look at the hard numbers. Numbers don't lie. They don't have a marketing team. The U.S. cow population dropped 15,000, 20% in the last 20 years. That's millions of head. Cattle are vanishing from farms like aliens abducted them. But the dairy section at Walmart? It's 5 times bigger. 5 times, Carl. Shelves are packed with cheese, butter, and cottage cheese like we live on a planet made entirely of udders. What is this? A kefir miracle? Or did cows suddenly learn to work 3 shifts without asking for a raise? Nope. No miracle. It's a controlled crash of the food chain. Let's follow a regular farmer. Let's call him John. Farmer John is stuck. Tractor prices? Through the roof. The government is choking him with taxes, environmental fees, and endless vet reports. Walmart sets a price below his cost. He looks at his books, realizes his kids won't work for free, sends the whole herd to slaughter, and moves to the city to drive Uber or pack boxes at an Amazon warehouse. Agriculture is now owned by faceless agribusiness giants with offshore accounts. They care about margin, not your breakfast. When real milk literally doesn't exist, but demand for cheese is blowing up, the cheat economy kicks in. Simple formula: demand minus supply equals fraud. Remember this number, it's official. 1 out of 5 dairy products in major chains is fake. For butter, more than 1 in 4. So you go to the store, grab butter, spread it on your toast, and there's a 25% chance you're eating something you didn't pay for. You're gonna roll your eyes and say, "Oh, palm oil, old news. Oh, sweet summer child, palm oil is so last century that's fraud kindergarten. Labs can spot vegetable fats in 5 minutes." So the tech guys ask themselves a nasty question. How do we fake animal fat so a DNA test thinks it's a cow? And they figured it out. And patented it. Beef fat, kidney fat, the cheap stuff that used to go into prison soap and machine grease. Marketers put a happy cow on the package, standing in a green field with butterflies. But your cheese is made from zombie cow. That's not a metaphor. They render kidney fat, strip out the slaughterhouse smell with harsh chemicals, deodorizing, bleaching, and press it into a neat brick. Then the FDA shows up, runs a DNA test, and the machine beeps. Yep, it's cow. All good. Yeah, it's cow. But not milk. It's organs. Filters. The stuff nature saved for surviving winter, not for your bagel. You're eating cheese with 0 milk. 0%. Your stomach was expecting cream and protein, but that processed kidney lard with chemical flavor pretending to be butter. And you're paying premium for it. Double scam. First they stole quality, then they made you pay more. Think kidney fat is the worst? Nah. They went way further. They went molecular. There's a white powder with no taste or smell. Producers call it meat glue. Scientists call it microbial transglutaminase. It's an enzyme from bacteria that glues proteins together permanently. Trimmings, tendons, scraps, turns them into a perfect steak. You'd never know. And guess what? It's also in your cottage cheese and Greek yogurt. Why? Let me break it down. Real cottage cheese takes 12 hours to ferment. For a giant factory, downtime costs tens of thousands per minute. 12 hours means millions down the drain, so they use meat glue. It cross-links proteins in 2 hours. 6 times faster. But wait, there's more. Meat glue holds water. A lot of water. It bulks up the final product by 20%. So you buy a tub of cottage cheese, pay for protein, but you're really getting glued water with leftover whey. 20% of your cash goes straight down the toilet, but it sat in the corporation's pocket first. And here's the really scary part. Cottage cheese isn't cooked. You eat it raw. That enzyme goes into your stomach active and ready. And it keeps doing its job, gluing proteins inside you, right in your gut. It glues your microvilli together, messes up absorption, creates lumps of undigested food. Result: allergies your grandparents never heard of, and leaky gut, where your intestinal wall becomes a sieve and toxins leak straight into your blood. Here's a fact that's hard to swallow. This enzyme is in top brands, expensive natural dairy. Why? Because fines are pocket change compared to the profit from faster cheese. A brilliant business plan if you don't care about people's health. You toss the cottage cheese. You sent the neat glue steak back at the restaurant. You say, I'll go clean. I'll make a smoothie. Spinach, banana berries, mango, pure nature, vitamins, chlorophyll, green goodness. Stop. Take your hand off that blender. Don't hit start. You just built a time bomb, and the timer is already ticking. Take off those rose-colored glasses. Modern supermarket fruit is not what your grandma ate. Grandma's apples were crooked, had wormholes and spots, but they were nothing but apple. Today's fruit, genetically modified, waxed up mutants. Let's be real. For that giant strawberry the size of an MMA fighter's fist to travel from Chile to your Ohio fridge without a single bruise or spot of mold, it's been drenched in fungicides and herbicides, and you can't wash them off. They're inside the cells. You eat them. Your body has no idea what to do with this chemical cocktail. Your detox systems work on one problem, one toxin, but this is a 15-toxin party. Your liver just stands in the corner and cries. It's overloaded. And superfoods? Spirulina, chia, matcha, goji. Oh, that's a whole circus. You pay an extra $5 for spirulina in your smoothie. You know what spirulina really is? Blue-green algae that grows in salty African lakes. But now, they grow it in open concrete ponds outside. Everything blows in. Dust, car exhaust, bird poop, and if they don't clean the pond, heavy metals. It's cheap powder, often cut with rice flour or maltodextrin, sold to you as nature's pure protein. And chia seeds? Yeah, they have omega-3, but to get the same amount as one cheap piece of mackerel from the store, you'd have to eat a whole cup of chia seeds, and then swell up like a sponge because they soak up 12 times their weight in water. They just fake fullness in your stomach for $20. Great for the seller, not so great for your wallet or digestion. Fine. You decide to eat a simple soft-boiled egg. Can't fake that, right? Oh, they can. Easy. Cold a store-bought egg up to the light. See those white patches, thin spots, and tiny lines? Producers call it marble shell. Sounds fancy, like Wagyu beef. Here's the truth. It's a cry for help. That chicken is starving for calcium. Her body is a bioreactor running on empty. Her bones are literally dissolving because all the calcium goes into eggs, and nothing comes back. Those spots are tiny holes in her armor. Bacteria march right in, and if the show feels rough, that means they fed her cheap garbage and antibiotics just to keep her on her feet until the end of her laying cycle. Nerves shot? Want some tea with honey? Don't choke, listen first. An independent lab tested 21 popular honey brands. Only 4 were real. The other 17, pure fraud. How does the honey mafia work? Lazy version. Put a tub of cheap sugar syrup right in front of the hive. Bees are pragmatic. Why fly 3 miles to a field when free lunch is at the doorstep? You're not getting honey. You're getting processed sugar with no enzymes, no vitamins, no benefits. But the chemists went further. Some samples had 0% bee products. 0. It's corn syrup, artificial honey flavor, and caramel color. That honey never crystallizes. It can sit for years. You give it to a sick kid hoping for healing, and you're actually pouring liquid fructose straight to their liver, causing non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. But we have QR codes, you say. I can scan it and find out the maiden name of the cow's great-grandma. Big Brother is watching. Sure, but Big Brother has terminal cataracts and is looking through binoculars with taped lenses. The system tracks paperwork, invoices, tonnage. Computer sees, factory bought a ton of milk, produced a ton of cheese. Debit equals credit. Everyone's happy. But it's completely blind to the technician on the night shift adding beef fat and sprinkling meat glue. It's like putting a GPS tracker on a unicorn. Coordinates look great. You see the dot on the map, but the unicorn doesn't exist. Fraudsters love digital tracking. A QR code is just a fancy indulgence for your wallet. Now let's talk expensive scams. The money you could have spent on vacation. You pay $30 for a ribeye steak at a restaurant. They bring a perfect round medallion. Nice sear. But that's not a cut. That's a meat puzzle. The tech takes trimmings, tendons, scraps from other parts, dusts them with microbial transglutamase meat glue. Our old friend rolls it up, wraps it in plastic, leaves it overnight. In the morning, they slice it into perfect pucks. The enzyme fuses the pieces at a cellular level. You won't find a seam under a microscope. You're eating pressed waste, paying for premium. Your immune system is freaking out trying to digest this chimera because that structure doesn't exist in nature. Now for the king of the counter, salmon. Wild salmon is red because it eats krill, natural astaxanthin. But 95% of store salmon is farmed, raised in a cramped pen on soy and corn feed. Its natural color, dull, pale gray, like a dead mouse. Nobody buys depression salmon, so the industry uses the Salmo fan scale, a fan of pink shades like at a paint store. The farmer picks color number 33, the juiciest, and orders feed with petrochemical astaxanthin dye. You're not paying for fish. You're paying for paint. Here's what they hide. Synthetic dyes in salmon feed can cause retinal problems in kids if overconsumed. 2021 study, Danish scientists. And red caviar for the holiday table? Simple test. Drop a spoonful into boiling water. Real caviar will curdle and turn white like a boiled egg. The fake stuff made from sodium alginate algae, gelatin, and bone broth just dissolves, leaving orange chemicals in the water. You're eating rubbery balls that smell like fish. For $200 a jar. Moving on, folks. Extra virgin olive oil, liquid gold, foundation of the Mediterranean diet. Yeah, right. Up to 70% of bottles in the US are fake. Here's how the agro-mafia works. They buy tankers of cheap canola oil. Add a drop of olive pomace waste, industrial chlorophyll for green color, and synthetic beta-carotene for bitterness. Then they bottle it in Italy. And made in Italy is perfectly legal, because the bottling happened there. You're pouring dyed canola oil on your salad. Don Corleone's giving a standing ovation. But the funniest and scariest is truffle oil. 99 times out of 100, there's not a single spore of truffle in there, no pieces, not even natural smell. The aroma comes from a chemical called 2,4-diphenapentane. That's a petrochemical. Cheap refined oil plus a drop of this synthetic stuff plus a dried mushroom at the bottom for looks. You pay $15 for fries drizzled with industrial's own perfume. It's like buying Chanel perfume made in a basement from antifreeze and drinking it. You ran to the healthy eating aisle? Waste of time. Total waste. Sugar-free just means full of maltodextrin. That's a starch sugar that spikes insulin faster than regular sugar. Its glycemic index is 110. White sugar, 70. Your pancreas can't read fancy green labels. It just sees glucose and panics. But the real monster sitting on your plate every day is modern wheat. You eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you have no idea it's not the wheat nature made. Ancient wheat, einkorn, emmer had 14 chromosomes. Modern dwarf wheat, bred in the 1960s to not collapse under tons of fertilizer and give massive yields, as 42 chromosomes. It's a hexaploid mutant, designed for factories and fields, not for human digestion. The gluten protein has changed beyond recognition. It's not the gluten your great-grandparents ate. Research from Dr. Fasano at Harvard showed something terrifying. ELADI, a piece of gluten, makes your body release sonulin, a protein that throws open the gates of your intestinal wall. In everyone, no exceptions, even without celiac disease. The gates open, and toxins, bacteria, and undigested food pour into your blood. And your immune system confuses this alien gluten with your thyroid, joints, and brain. Result: Hashimoto's, brain fog, chronic fatigue, panic attacks, arthritis. That morning muffin with butter, it's literally putting a target on your organs every single day. You ask, why is everyone silent? Why do official posters in clinics and schools show bread, pasta, and cereal at the base of the food pyramid? Why are we taught from childhood that greens are essential? Because in the 1990s, the USDA hired grain industry lobbyists. Honest scientists working on the first pyramid said, base it on veggies and fruit, grains max 3 servings a day. The lobbyists erased that and flipped the pyramid upside down. Instead of 3 servings, 11 servings of carbs a day. Sugary cereal, white bread, pasta, rice became the foundation of health. That's exactly when obesity and type 2 diabetes charts shot up like a Falcon 9 rocket. The price of agro-business stability, your money at the pharmacy, your prescriptions for statins and metformin, your insulin pumps. The system won't admit the scam because the economy would collapse. If the truth came out tomorrow, tens of billions would evaporate. It's more profitable to treat symptoms, blood pressure pills, dermatitis creams, antidepressants, diabetes shots. A sick nation is the perfect consumer. So what do? There's a way out. And it's not starving. Option 1, total elimination. No just on Sundays or just a little. That gut fire burns for days after one piece. If you figure out a product is killing you, cut it out completely for a month. See how your health changes. Option 2, the 3-ingredient rule. Flip the package. If there are more than 3 words on the ingredient list, and you can't pronounce transglutaminase, maltodextrin, or caramel color without stumbling, put it back. Real food doesn't need a 20-ingredient list. And 3, support local farmers. Buy at markets. Get to know the people who actually keep cows and chickens before they quit to drive Uber because the agro-mafia crushed them. Every dollar you spend is a vote. Vote for real food, not chemical fraud. The industry created the perfect consumer. Addicted, tired, puffy, with dark circles under their eyes, and a holy faith in bio, eco, and organic. But now you know the tricks. You know about kidney fat, meat glue, dyed salmon, and petrochemical truffles. Drop a comment. Which product from this list killed your faith in humanity most? The puzzle steak, the syrup honey, the cow organ cheese, or the salmon that never saw the sea? Let's see how many of us survivors there are after this chemical carnival. Turn on your critical thinking. Your immune system should work for you, not for corporations. Send this video to anyone still believing in green labels. Catch you next time. And remember, the truth is right on the surface. Most people just don't want to see it.